has 10 speeches. The very first speech is called an icebreaker, and it's where someone gets up for the very first time and talks a little about themselves and just breaks the ice of coming up here and doing it. So it's a very special speech. And the next person who's going to speak is Victor, and he's going to give his icebreaker, his very first speech. And it'll be from 4 to 6 minutes. Please welcome Victor.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Toastmasters, this is my icebreaker speech today. And normally when I do speeches, I don't write notes. I don't have bullet points, I just speak. So today my challenge for myself was I'm actually gonna write a speech. So on the way here today, I said, Tia, you drive me to write it on the way. So I wanted to share something near and dear to my heart. So I want to tell you a story about something that happened in my childhood. One of the scariest things on the planet when you're a child or when you're a parent is to imagine that something has happened to your child. It's the unthinkable thing. And it's one of the things I fear the most of all. So I'll tell you about something that affected me. When I was very small and impressionable, I was diagnosed with an acute case of Republicanitis in a Democratic household. My father wanted a second opinion. He wasn't hearing it. He said, this can't be. My son can't be a Republican. He's too small to understand what this means. And the doctor said, it's more than a choice. He's born that way. You can't stop this. So, after several different medical opinions, psychiatric opinions, it was true. I was a black Republican. So there was a question my brother asked me when I was young. He said, what does a black Republican eat for breakfast? And I said, I'm going to let you know. So I went on this quest to find out, what do I eat for breakfast? Is there official food? Talk different? Do we walk different? I mean, it's got to be some, man, this is crazy. I can't even put my arms around how it's going to affect me moving forward. And so I was concerned. I never felt so isolated before in my entire life. I didn't fit in anywhere. Everywhere I went, no one knew how to take me. Who is this guy? He thinks funny, he walks funny, he eats different food. We don't get it. Learning to grow up and not fitting in anywhere makes you different. It makes you stronger in so many different ways. And I always found myself in very unusual places trying to fit in. And when I say trying to fit in, it's because certain things were instinctive to me. I like trucks. I like diving. I like going offshore and fishing and swimming. And if you don't know, most brothers get a little leery when a guy goes, you want to go on a boat and a long ride with me. I'm just saying. So I end up in places and situations where most people just aren't comfortable. I had one of the baddest four-wheel drive trucks in Pasco County. And you go rock crawling and you show up and it's like, you're the only black dude there. Take off your hat, throw it down, you climb the hill, you get out, and you're like, yeah, awesome, awesome. You start looking around, and you're like, I'm the only brother here. In Ocala, at Hard Rock, four-wheel. Or you show up in an event, and you're the only guy who's showed up on a horse. There were so many things that I started to wonder, am I different? But I started to realize this. It just required me to start thinking human. I wasn't able to pick a side. I didn't have that opportunity. I couldn't say I was with this group. I couldn't say I was with that group, because frankly I didn't fit in anywhere. No one knew how to take me. And it required me to think. It required me to look past myself. It required me to look past stereotypes. It required required me to look past fears, because I had to get past all these fears just to show up. I was looked at differently. I'd go to a country club and a guy would go, hey, can you get me a bucket of balls? And I would say something smart until I grew up, like, tell you what, I'll tell you the first two going in the bucket. But I learned you can't do that. That's not how you soar above challenges and differences in life. That's not how you get above, this place where everyone looks at you like you're the elephant in the room. No pun intended with the elephants, but I have my It taught me a lot, and it gave me courage that I never would have obtained had I not been who I am. So, when people walk in my office and they see a picture of Karl Rove or George Bush and then Barack Obama and Bill Clinton, and they're like, I'm so confused. What are you? It's a great story to tell. I get to tell them about my journey. I get to tell them about who I am and how I became this individual. And it's made me fearless in so many different areas in my life. So, with that said, what does a Black Republican eat for breakfast? Bacon, eggs, and cashew. That's what we love. Thank you.